Okay, let me change set points. Okay. Thanks for your confirmation. So let me share my screen. So any questions from anyone so far? Anyone? Any questions from anyone? Okay, guys. A Helm concept completed, right? So today we can focus. Okay, we can start. That is also fine. So we have a three type of probes: startup probe, readiness probe, liveness probe. Clear na? These three probes, important concept. 100% interview question will come from this area. But most of the students ignore this concept. No probes. Okay, no problem. Okay, this is wrong one. Okay, guys. Let's focus now. Probes concept. So we have a three type of probes. Let me. I can say simple Kubernetes health checks. This is probes concept is Kubernetes health checks. Guys, this Sunday workshop is there on Kubernetes and combination of AI. Okay. So for example, in your cluster inside, two pods are not working. For example, one service is not working and one ingress controller is fail. And so different issues are there inside the cluster. So how you can identify by checking, by running a many commands, describe, and so we can understand, we can do like that. Once you integrate any AI tool, just you can give analyze command. The tool will find the entire cluster and give the list of issues inside the cluster. Clear now? Very easy way. Integrate and use it only. Okay. So I can create a 10 or 20 scenarios, fail cases. Then the same fail cases, if you want to find out without AI, we have to run service means kubectl describe service, kubectl describe pod, kubectl describe ingress. We have to follow this procedure, right? But cluster level, any unhealthy issues are there, any failures are there, that will give immediately list complete cluster level. You can validate, you can run. Clear na? That I will take care. The Sunday workshop. So please attend everyone. Yeah. In Kubernetes, we have a three type of health checks, probes. Startup probe. Next, readiness probe. And liveness probe. if you can take a pod at the time of start, it will take care. Readiness probe at the time of ready. Aliveness probe at the time of running. Clear na? For example, guys, a simple logic here. Okay. My pod I have created inside the cluster. This is my pod. Okay. I have created a service for this pod also. I mean, it's a deployment pod, for example. So let's say deployment created a 2 replicas. So 2 pods are running here. 2 pods are running here. These 2 pods inside same application is running app1 or app1. But these 2 application common YAML only, right? For example, you should enable 80 port, but enable 81. In target group load balancer, I'll check fail or not. Same here also. In YAML file, if I define 80 port, but application is not running in 80. Startup time, it will not taking 80 port. Immediately, which probe will give? Startup probe will validate. Startup probe validate and give confirmation whether pod started or fail. Clear na? Tell me guys, if startup probe fail, indirectly liveness probe, readiness probe also fail, right? Process begins from startup probe, readiness, liveness. So each probe, there is the background, some activity will be performed. Startup probe only verify start time, not running time. Ready. Running. Live. Clear? So definitely guys, you have to configure this 2 or 3 probes, not alone startup probe. I will tell you why. So we will get a clarity once we discuss 3 probes. Coming to the startup probe. So if pod is not started, so it will incomplete, right? Pod is incomplete. Pod has not started means it's incomplete. In this case, service not supposed to send traffic to these pods as it's a fail. Otherwise, end users will be impacted, right or not? So if you use startup probe alone, still service can redirecting into pod. Understand? For example, I'm taking a pod here. I'm taking just single pod. Okay. Here, the service concept still send traffic to faulty pod if you use only startup probe. So when you deploy a pod and service endpoints will update inside the pod. Okay. Even startup probe only alone you can use na. If it will give pod has failed, immediately service should be disconnected. It should not redirect the service into faulty pod, right? Same load balancer. If unhealthy is there for the server inside the target group, immediately load balancer is not send traffic to unhealthy server, right? So here also same, service should not send traffic to startup if startup probe is failed, right or not? But the problem is if you work alone startup probe, this will not give any information to service. Understand? But if you combination of ready state, so ready state if you use na, for example, startup probe success only request will go to ready. Ready means what? Pod ready, you can give access now. Yes, you can configure access, right? Now service can configure to this ready state only. Whenever pod ready, only service endpoints can added into pod inside. These service endpoints automatically delete if ready state has failed. Clear na? So service depends on which state, which probe? Readiness probe. So service depends on readiness probe status. But if you use only startup probe, service involvement is not there here. Maybe service still attached to same endpoints. Your load balancer may send traffic to the faulty pods. You will get an error. Clear na? Here, startup probe alone not integrated with service. There may be a chances send traffic to faulty pod by service. So we have to integrate all probes. Clear na? Okay. And coming to the startup probe, here startup probe inside, startup probe, readiness probe, live. So guys, understand here important thing. Startup probe, pod can restart. If something issue is there in the startup probe, again it will restart one more time, one more time, one more time. So that can take care by startup probe. So startup probe can restart the pod at the time of start only. At the time of start only, not running. Okay. Okay. What readiness probe will do? If readiness probe fail, if readiness fails, remove service endpoints immediately, right? Not to send traffic. So liveness probe also, if liveness probe fail, trying to restart pod. Okay, it will try to restart a pod in liveness status, in live status. So two probes only able to restart the pod. One is start, one is live time. Startup time probe has failed. It will restart again. Pod will be restarted by startup probe. So if pod fails to start, pod can restart at the time of start by startup probe. Important, very important. Interview question. They may ask here. Okay. kubectl get nodes. Okay, 2 nodes are running. What I can do now, let's give a one try. Kubernetes main clone. So focus, I'm going to, install git -y. Okay. Git to clone ls Kubernetes main, go to day 3 service ls. Okay. vi nodeport.aml. So here I'm taking Nginx latest, right? Let's take here insert. Nginx target port is what? Okay, let's run first as is kubectl apply -f. Now here created total 2 services, one pod and one container is creating get svc. Clear na guys? Node pod service created. Kubectl get pods. Pod also running. Kubectl describe pod. You can run like this also. We can run one more command. So you can see the endpoint here. Service. There is endpoint here. A describe pod or service. Oh, I should describe service, right? Describe. What is the service? Now endpoint update or not here? If one pod or 2 pod or 3 pods, one endpoint updated. Clear na guys? Perfect. Let's go to open here the YAML file, which guys tell me if I give 81, this is wrong, right? Nginx is not running 81 port health check should be fail. Kubectl describe apply -f. Now kubectl get pods running. Okay, I'll do one. Yeah, kubectl get svc. Clear na? 2 minutes 7 seconds ago, 115. Sorry, okay, is that fine? Now let's check it here. Kubectl describe svc. Guys, see here, still endpoint is connected or not? But this is wrong. This is what I'm not expecting here. If probes are there, it will give some suggestion to service, don't attach and all, right? Okay, if I access now, you can give kubectl get endpoints command also. And directly you can check service endpoint. You don't need to go describe and check the service, right? So this is my endpoint is connected to my service. Kubectl get endpoints. Okay, command is okay. Now let's try to access these kubectl get nodes -o wide. Okay, take the external IP and give service port is what? No. Node port. 30007. And let's go to the nodes. All traffic already, but I'm unable to access. Why? Nginx is not running an 81 port. That image we have taken from the Docker Hub, right? The image that deployed on 80. Clear now? Now we are trying to access 81. It's not possible. Default port always 80 for the Nginx. Jenkins default port are always 8080. We cannot change. After you can do modifications, but default level you are taking, the port should access default port only, right or not? But still, my service allowing or not? So definitely, if you, some mistake is there, service allowing to wrong port, right? Which is not enable 80. So now end users will impact or not? So if I configure my if I configure my probes, so that should be access this port, that should be access on this path, like a target group health checks. We have given a path, we have given a port. That should be load balancer can start the health checks, right? If something fail, it will be out of the service unhealthy. It will not send traffic to unhealthy servers. That's what I'm expecting here also. Okay. In this case, we should configure probes. Okay, let's delete now. kubectl delete. Clear now, guys? Okay. So we can understand now. All containers running and ready state means 1 by 1. All containers running 1 by 1 means what? All containers are running ready state means 1 by 1. If this is the, if you can see this level, container is running but failing readiness startup probe. 0 by 1, it's not ready state. Container is running but not ready state. This may be reason container are running and crash loop backup error. I'll discuss what is crash loop backup error. 2 by 2 means multiple containers running inside 2 by 2 like this. Now, startup probe. You can see I'm taking here Nginx and instead I'm expecting path test and port is 80. I'm saying to, so this is the startup probe entry in your deployment.ml or pod.ml inside. So here I'm saying startup probe, you will get the response from path and on port number 80. So startup probe will ping to pod on 80 on path. If it will give a response, consider as a healthy. Same like a target group, right? Failure threshold 10, period seconds 5. So period seconds 5, every 5 seconds it will ping. And failure threshold 10 means allow 10 failures. Then it will decide, okay. Or you can give allow 6 failures. Then it will decide, okay, this is completely fail. You can decide it will not work. Startup probe fail completely. Like this, it will work. Clear now? Let's take now. Which probe this is? Startup probe. Now I'm taking Nginx image, right? Nginx image inside, is there any path will be created test? We should create a Docker file to create a test path, right? But this is base image. So base image inside no test path is created. Port is correct, but path is wrong, right? Something, any issue is, you can create a, you can give a correct path, but give a wrong port also. Anything is fine. VI startup. Okay, I'll do one thing. VI startup.aml. Okay. kubectl apply -f. So what we can do, we can add service also for this, okay? So that we can understand. Yeah. So startup.ml, okay. 3 lines. Can I add service also here? Let's take service.ml also. So I'm taking only node, anything node port just for testing only, right? I'm taking a node port service. Copy, paste. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is for only HTTP probe. Okay. Insert. Okay, I'm taking only service only. Copy. So you can give any port. 3, 9 also you can give anything you wish. It will take this node port only. Yeah, label I need to. So label is what here? Nginx test. Here label is what? Nginx test. Nginx. Clear, right? Hey, wait. Why it's going like this? Test. Okay. So let's go and check why this is coming like this. kubectl apply. Okay. Service created, pod created, right? But now health probes, what it will do, start the health checks on the start time. Pod started or not and all. kubectl get pods. See, running but not ready, right? You can check now kubectl, describe pod, health checks fail or not. Copy. That's why it's a 0 by 1, right? See here. Container Nginx failed startup probe will be restarted. That means what? It's failed. It is going to restart now. Second time, third time. It is going to restart multiple times. You can see here. Restart 0, right? It is going to restart now. It is checking 10 times, 6 times, right? After that, restart 6 times, restart 6 times, restart. It is time taking process. See, one time after 7 seconds ago, see, restarted, right? Again, it will restart second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. And after some time, there is no specific time. After maybe 5 minutes and all, it is going to be entered into the crash loop back of error. After multiple times restart the pod enter into the crash loop back of error stage. That the stage is pod is out of service completely. It's down. Clear na? Pod not deleted actually. Pod is there, but out of service. That's what crash loop back of error. But what about endpoints? kubectl get endpoints. Okay. VA. kubectl get SVC. Kube CTL describe SVC my service. So you can see no endpoints attached, right? So startup probe is failed right here. The process is not moved further, right? So endpoints are failed. But the problem is initial time endpoints are not updated, right? For example, a pod is running, service configured. Later, if you do some modifications into the AML inside, but the service endpoints are already attached, right? It will not remove. Still, it will be attached. Even pod also fail. It will not disconnect from the endpoints. Clear what I'm trying to say? Hmm. I'll show the use case. Let me tell you. Now pod is not ready state, right? So service also not ready. Three times restart done. What are the benefits to configure like this? Hmm? What is the benefit for the target group? If it was not there, what happens? Huh? Yeah, load balances and traffic to faulty server also, right? That's not recommended. Application down. 5 servers are running, one server is faulty. If it is redirected to faulty server, customers public point of view, application is not working, right? Or not? Only we can send traffic to healthy servers only. Wait for some time, it will be enter into the crash loopback of error. So guys, tell me in uh, pod startup time, if it is unable to start, it is going to restart or not? Yes, this is important point. If startup probe time, if pod has failed, it is trying to restart. But readiness probe, pod has failed, it will not restart. Immediately, services will be disconnected from the your pod. Wait for some time. Each restart is taking closely 1 minute of time. It should restart again. As per the given set points. Now should redirect. Let's restart now. Clear na? So enter into crash loop back of error. So this is a very important interview question for the interview. What is crash loop back of error in Kubernetes? So you have to explain that. If if I configure any probes for the application, if startup probe, if startup probe fail, the pod is going to be restarted by startup probe. So after multiple times restarts, still pod is not resumed back to the service. It is going to enter into the crash loopback of error. Simple. As you expected, pod is not running. Pod is going to be deleted? No. It is going to be entered into the crash loopback of error. That means pod is indirectly not accept any operation, no requests. Clear everyone? Now, this should not work. Let's go to now. I'm giving I'm going to give correct use case. I mean, let's go to here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, I can give now success use case. So default path is there or not inside? Yes. Port is also correct. Now kubectl apply -f. What's the issue? Not change the field other. Okay. Got it. Kubectl delete -f service. Now again, this is success use case right now. Success use case kubectl get ports. Why still 0? Maybe this is expecting readiness probe now. Startup profile. Why? Why connection refuse? VA startup. Node port we can give different one. That's what the error. Before error, this is the node port issue. Don't mention this. Automatically will create. But that's okay. Huh? Path should be where? Above porta. Okay, let's take. We can ask. Startup probe. Why connection refused here? I have given correct port and path. It should success. Yeah, alone is not enough. As I said, right? Alone is not enough for startup probe succeeded. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is correct answer. Okay. Okay. So we cannot use, can I use a startup probe alone? It's not a good use case anyway. Okay, I'll do one thing. It is saying this is my AML. By startup profile. But root cause is test. Okay, okay. Then why fail again? Oh, path empty is invalid. Okay. So empty path is not valid for HTTP probe. Okay. Reason still too short. Grace time. Okay. That is okay. Failure threshold is period seconds is 5 seconds. Five, 10. Okay, let's check period seconds 5, failure threshold 10. Period seconds 5, failure threshold 10. Let's try like this. kubectl delete -f startup.aml. Let's apply. So kubectl get pods. Okay. So the reason is path is required. Clear or not? We have to define a path. But if my application running on default path, then okay, you must specify a path. Okay, yes, this is not taking empty path. Never autofill it is. Okay, that's great. Let's go to Kubernetes. Startup probe guidelines. They're not using even startup probe, everywhere liveness probe, readiness probe. Yeah. Define readiness probe. Okay. Startup probe. Sometimes you have to deal with application that requires additional startup time for their first initial. In such cases, it can be tricky. Let's probe without compromising the fast response. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. So default path not accepting startup probe maybe. Kubernetes does not have a single default path that works on the all application startup probe. Okay. Okay. So I think let's check. Okay, let's delete first this. So clear, right? So startup probe, if path is not exit, it will restart multiple times and it will be enter into the crash loop back of error. Okay. Let's go with now. Let's see startup probe first. I mean, sorry, readiness probe. Readiness probe. Yeah, readiness probe is what? It check the Kubernetes perform the container, determine whether it's ready to service the traffic or not, serve the traffic or not. It does not restart the container. Understand? I mean, restart the container only startup probe at the time of start. But readiness probe does not restart the container. This is very important. Does not restart the container. It only tells Kubernetes whether pod should be included the service endpoints or not. If the pod is not, for example, readiness probe has failed, immediately service endpoints are disconnected or not attached also, if it is a new requirement. Am I ready to serve the traffic? So failing pod is marked as not ready. Cates remove the pod from the service endpoints list. Okay. This is all about service integrations for the readiness probe. Pod is ready, then give the service. Otherwise, don't serve the traffic. Clear now? Let's test this one. Hmm. It's taking a load balance service. Anyway, copy VA readiness dot aml. Insert. I should give 3 lines, right? Okay. So let's check Nginx test. Nginx test. Tell me now, in this case, readiness probe fail or not? Yes, path is not, path is also path. Does not exist, right? Let's run now. kubectl apply -f readiness.aml. kubectl get pods. See, pod is not ready. Pod is ready means one by one it should come, right? 0 by 1. So kubectl describe pod, copy. You can see why it's not running. So readiness probe has failed. The reason path does not exist inside the Nginx image, right? Okay. Clear? Endpoints also not updated. Even if this is success, for example, again, let's go to here, kubectl delete -f dot. So vi readiness dot aml. I'll try to give again default path here also. kubectl apply -f kubectl get pods. Same story, right? kubectl describe pod, give the Copy, paste. It's running. Clear na? Okay, let's check now endpoints attached or not. kubectl, get endpoints directly. Okay, it's working fine now. But before case is what? Path does not exist, endpoints not attached. So now default path is running. So no issues here. So it's attaching endpoint. Clear na? So it's all about attaching, detaching endpoints only for the readiness probe. Clear na? It will not restart the any pod. For example, okay, let's try now. VI readiness. Let's give here again some path like this. Okay. And again apply. Okay, it is not taking like this. Delete -f dot kubectl apply -f readiness. Now you can see this time kubectl get pods. Let's wait for some time. So when the readiness probe can coming to the service after success startup probe only, right? So I'm using readiness probe alone. But startup time, for example, a simple logic here. Our target group load balancer concept is there, na? Auto scaling group concept. Auto scaling group creating a new server. Immediate server will be registered into target group inside. Load balance and traffic to target group inside server, right? If you want to control something here inside some, for example, new server creating by auto scaling group that should not send traffic to target load balance immediately. It should wait for some time. Inside some process is running, for example, new server inside. So until complete the process, target group not send traffic to any to server. Otherwise, server is in now not ready state. Inside process is running, right? Some process. At that time, we should hold the health checks, right? So there is a life cycle concept is there. We can use that. Here also, if you want to start a pod, see, slow start means what? If something want to configure inside the pod before, it should wait for some time to probes, right? In this case, service don't allow to send traffic directly to the pod. First, wait for complete the startup probe status. If startup probe fail, na, simply your pod is not service mode, right? Service mode means it's not served any traffic. So readiness probe also fail, completely service endpoints also removed. Understand what I'm trying to say? So startup probe, readiness probe, both can use if pod is successfully started and then enter into the readiness state. There are also no issues. Then service can serve the traffic. Until and that service completely not attached to any service to pods. So end user's point of view, no issues will come, right or not? So get endpoint. See, clear or not? kubectl get SVC. Why? What service also not created? See here, service created, but not attached. Understand here. Load balancer service created, but this is not served from your pod. Understand? Even labels mismatch also service created, but not integrated with your pods. Clear or not? Service is not going to pending state. Service created, but it will be attached. Endpoints are not the point is here. Yeah. See here, endpoints not attached, right? Then if you access also, it should not redirect request into. Yeah, see, the site can't be reached. Even HTTP not secure, right? So the meaning is what here? Your service is not redirecting into your pod actually. So pod already not ready state. And next is what? Liveness probe. So liveness probe also same process. Once pod has running mode, for example, You can see this is startup and readiness probe combination. Copy. kubectl delete -f dot. Now vi start ready. Okay. Startup probe and readiness probe also. See startup probe fail or not? If I run this, automatically readiness probe also fail. kubectl apply -f. Definitely 0 by 1, no doubt. Which probe failed here? Startup only, right? First startup only, right? Even request not enter into the readiness probe also. Startup probe fail means request is not redirected into readiness. See, pod has started, then enter into ready state, right? When the pod will enter into ready state, if it will start successfully, first one will update on. But here startup also fail means when it will be go for ready state, no, right? So that's what the problem. Even readiness also, your given readiness is success case only, right? See, readiness I have given without any issues, right? But startup probe fail na, readiness also fail. Okay. And last probe is what? Liveness probe running time. After successfully started, after successfully entered into the ready state, then it will running state. So liveness probe mechanism here, Kubernetes used to check whether container is still alive or functioning or not. So here also pod will restart. Liveness probe, something issue will come. It will also restart. Only the one probe, only pod is not going to restart. It's a readiness probe. Now I'm using here readiness probe and liveness probe. Clear na? You can see. Copy. Okay, you can do like this also. To test this, you can log in into the container inside. Okay, break and move the your Nginx HTML health part into this one. Okay, let's what we can do. But anyway, copy VA liveness. So this time you can see service not involvement here, liveness probe, only readiness probe. See if readiness probe is success, service will be attached. Then liveness probe will verify path is different, right? It will fail now. Let's see how it will work first. So kubectl apply -f. Line number 12. What is the issue? Set number. What is the command? Insert Why I'm unable to move now? Okay. So that should come here. Okay. Huh? Sorry. Line number 2. Oh, okay, okay. Let's go here. Set number. Line number 12 only, right? Only right. Let's check here. Squad. Day 2. Okay. So port we can give. Let's change this. Container. Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. Should work or not. Why this issue is. Cat. Validate. That I know. So we can do the chain here. Okay, guys. So liveness, I will create a correct use case as of now. Paste. Something I'm giving here. So cube CTL, apply -F, liveness. Come on, cube CTL. Cube CTL, describe, pod. Pod is running right now. Right or not? Wait for some time. Ready, first ready, it's running right. Now, as per the set point, it has to be restart actually. Let's go to here. LS, VA, liveness. Okay, 20 seconds, 10th at 3. See, restarted or not? So liveness probe is restarted your application because path missing. Wait for some time. So definitely I have given wrong use case actually. Readiness probe I have given correct. Liveness probe I have given wrong. Actually, liveness probe also I should give, readiness probe also I should give same path, right? To testing. So readiness probe fail means service not attached, right? But now service will attach or not? Service attached. I haven't created the reason readiness probe success, right? But when the service will be detached, if readiness probe is fail, so wantedly I'm just creating a issue in the liveness probe only, right? But in real time, what we can do is readiness probe, liveness probe, same path inside only it should verify, right? But state is different only at the time of start, at the time of run, at the time of live. But all are running same path inside application, right? Startup time success also, readiness probe fail, again fail. Both success, liveness probe fail, then liveness probe fail, right or not? Yeah, after some time it will go into the, even you can create a success case and log in a pod and move the path. Understand what I'm trying to say? For example, if you deploy a application path is app1 something, after that you can log in the container, remove the path inside the container. So liveness probe every time it will check running pod, right? So pod does not exist. What happens? It is go for the failed state again. So to get a clarity, see third time also restarted. So there is no specific interval to restarts. How many restarts to enter into the crash loop back of error? There is no specific set point here. 3-4 times or 4-5 times based on that. Maybe some cases 600 seconds, some cases 700 seconds. After that, it will go into the crash loop back of error. So only two states, startup probe, liveness probe only restart the pod and then enter into the crash loop back of error. But it's coming to the readiness probe. All about service connect and disconnect only. Okay, these three. So if you want to prove, guys, do one thing now. You can take a any code, for example, give sample code to test probes. Okay, then deploy the Docker file. So you can take a Node.js application, a specific path, app, get path, something, for example. So leave it, give code. Now you can see here. Take any sample Node.js or use sample Node.js code to test probes, Kubernetes. Now this see, okay, we should deploy something inside the default path also, right? So I haven't deployed anything in my Nginx application. That's why it's failed. Now you can see this is what default path. This is for ready path. This is what healthy. So you can deploy this, code, build a Docker file, let's say. Okay, by seeing this code, yeah. So you can see many paths are there or not here. Your application ready path is there in application inside. Default path is there. Healthy path is there. So you can deploy as an image and build a YAML files and check the code. Your and healthy path is there in your application. Default path is there. Ready path also there. Clear na? If you want to test correct use case, give as is any path, existing path. It will check correct use case. Wrong use case is what? Ready is there na? Give a different path which is not exist in your code in the image. That will verify, it will give error, right? But my case, I'm taking only Nginx, right? Inside no path is exist, right? So you can deploy your own code by including some paths here, application inside, right? Now give these paths into the probes, success use case. You can verify, definitely it will be success. And later you can test wrong use cases. You no need to disturb inside the code. YAML file inside, you can give the different path which you not provide through the application. that will be verified, it will give a wrong use case. Clear or not? So complete today and let me know the process. Here you are giving see port numbers. Be careful here. You have to take the port numbers also. If you give 5,000, 3,000 port, in your probe inside you should give 3,000 port, not 80 port. Okay. Which application is running, port and path explicitly you have to mention. Clear na? Any questions from anyone? You can ask any questions on the probes. Both online or offline. Any questions? Hmm? Sorry? Application running inside pod only, right? Node inside, no application run. Node inside pod runs, pod inside application run. Node inside already we are verifying what target groups are there, na? Load balancer. Node inside only, right? Server inside only application running. We are selecting which server, which path, which port. Now, which server, which pod, which path, which port. Their pod missing. Here, pod inside application is running. Clear the difference? Virtualization and containerization. So, guys, today is the last day. Please complete your mock interview. Okay. Today evening, again, they will send the list. I will verify. You will come tomorrow class. Huh? Again, problem will come. Oh, he will verify. Then we can skip the class. So build a Docker file, build a image, use this image for the probes. I'm adding sample application in the node. I think notes I have shared this one, right? Let me share again. Any questions from anyone? So guys, from tomorrow onwards, concepts are little difficult. Okay. So you have to focus more now. If you want to explore Kubernetes a little advanced level, then we have to focus now. Volumes, concepts, Docker time already we discussed what is what. Now we have to explore more on this case. Volumes one, it will take 2 sessions. Kubernetes volumes, dynamic volumes, static volumes, and then stateless, headless. Many things will come. So far everything is cool, huh? Kubernetes? Difficult, huh? Huh? Sir, yet to create a cluster. Anyone is there here? Need to check yet to create a cluster. Directly ground floor only. If anyone say like this to me. Okay, guys, thanks. Take care. Please practice, guys, please.